What is up, everybody? Welcome to Middle Tuesday. It's like mini power talk. But we were brainstorming, brainwaving last week, and we were saying, what does the community need? And it's everybody's priming up for Team Cup. If you guys know my story, Team Cup's been a big part of the rise of my success. A lot of value we could add surrounding Team Cup, but then we also realized that hey, we always do last Tuesday of the month. And this last Tuesday of the month is like Team Cup Eve, right? It's January 31st, and so everybody's gonna have a team then, and hopefully already have a game plan, and it's gonna be like the value that we could provide at that point would just be different. And so we thought of hey, there's a lot that needs to be said about finding the right team, getting plugged in with the right group, so that it is a successful or a fun event for everybody, and that needed to happen. Registration opened on Monday, right? So yesterday, and so we wanted to say, hey, let's have a mini power talk on Middle Tuesday, and we can talk about finding the right team, and you guys can get going, get brain waving. We'll keep content going in the community, and then the last Tuesday that you have your teams ready, fired up, we'll just send you off powerfully into Team Cup. And how to rock the cup, how to make it a win. That's how we titled it, and how to win Team Cup your way. So whether your goal is to start some healthy habits that are going to lead your not healthy habits. That's my fitness coach coming out, but some productive business habits that's going to lead you to future success, right? Get those things ingrained. Or if it's I want to tell Carl piece of my mind about that all access, and the only way I'm going to be able to get an appointment is if I win this whole thing, right? And if somebody's got the big dreams of winning, I just want to support you, and I say, hey, go for it. I want you to win. I know, wouldn't it be cool to meet Carl? Wouldn't that be awesome? And get to have dinner with the whole crew. I know, I did P90X. I wanted they had a celebrity photo of how to meet Tony Horton, and I freaking worked my face off to try to meet Tony Horton, right? So don't put limits on the amazing things you guys can accomplish. And what I want to just press and talk to you guys today in this power talk is you only can do so much by yourself, right? But when you team up with a couple of other people, big things can happen. Really big things. New Wave started, a lot of you guys know the story. I do see a couple new faces, but New Wave started when me and my coach Christine reached out to a couple of other coaches just like us and said, hey, let's create a mastermind and let's give some value. 1,500 people showed up to our first to our opt-in, and 400 people showed up live on our first power talk. And nobody knew who we were, but I was like, well, crap, man, 4 people can do this. What can this community do, right? What can you do? So when you team up with 5 people who believe the same thing, who are pointed in the same direction, you guys, big things can happen. But how do you actually find the right team, and how is someone like me able to recruit or connect with a team that all wanted to dream big to finish in the top 10? And even my first team, I don't talk about that one as much, but we came together, and I was just happy enough to field a team. It was totally my downline and the first team. How was I able to motivate them to finish? We finished with 78 points, which was good enough for 85th place. And I was just a baby Emerald coach. I did just a couple months into coaches, because we all had vision and pointed the right way, and we all got on the same page. So I'm going to go and kind of pop in and out and ask people a lot of questions. Some I see Jenny's been on my Team Cup, and Katie, she's still driving. Maybe Katie, I'll come to you a little bit later or whatever when you get there. But I want to give you value, and if you're looking for a Team Cup team, I want to kind of have you really take inventory of what you want out of it. What do you want to get out of Cup? And what does that look like? And then just put it out there, put it out into the universe of what that looks like, what that feels like, what you want, and then track people to join you on your mission. Okay. And so I will say that I have never put up I'm looking for a Team Cup members team. Every time that I've recruited a team, it's always been me ninja recruiting people. I guess. And if you're looking for a team, I want you to have like accountability to what you want to get at it, and make sure that you get that right. A lot of us, we had some talk around Summit, like, hey, like people go to Summit for different reasons. Some of it they just want to bond with the team. Some people they want to be in the front row on the big speakers, and you need to make sure that you get out what you want to get out, right, and have that clarity before you head there. Well, Team Cup is totally the same way. You know, if you want to win the whole thing, like you got to find the right team that can win the whole thing, right? And if you want to maybe connect with other leaders, people that you respect, and say, hey, like I would just love to have a month where we work on stuff together and I become a better coach just by working with you, right? It's like powerful things happen. You get new ideas. And that's another thing about Team Cup. We always talk about maybe the points and the ranks and what you do, the prizes, like we get a Bluetooth speaker. But the teams that you form, you mix it different ways, right? The way that you have a sales cycle where you're recruiting people into your challenge groups, people are more like your team will help out on a three-way call. Sometimes you co-run challenge groups. Some of the best challenge groups I've ever run were with Katie Tyndall, who is still to this day one of the most talented coaches I've ever seen operate within a challenge group, and a reason that my challenge groups are better because it was after the cup, but it was the people that we were helping together. We helped all these people. The challenge group happened afterwards. I continued to get better by working with Katie in that challenge group, right? And so when you're recruiting Team Cup team, and you're like, hey, like I want to help a lot of people. I want to grow as a leader. I want to find people that will hold me accountable to the things I want to do in this business. But also just it's really important to find people that you respect, you want to work with, and you want to learn from, right? Whether they're currently above you or below you. So show of hands, how many of you guys currently have a Team Cup team? You guys are already rocking and rolling. A couple of you do. Couple of you don't. That's cool. I want to talk a little bit about knowing thyself, right? Okay, because it sounds good to win, like, or go for it, or push yourself. It's a big commitment. For me, like, it was something I wanted to do because if you guys watched my live today in the Champions page, I talked about this a little bit, but I think it's important for all of us, at least one moment in our careers, to sprint, to see if you go all in for a month, what are you capable of? Like every month we go and we're on our current pace, right? And so last year I finished with about 185 Success Club points. That's roughly an average of 15 a month. But when I sprint, I was able to get 41. That was my best month of last year, right? But if I never would have held myself like to the fire like that, I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know that was within me, right? And I'm not able to sustain 41 points a month, but at least I know it's in me, right? And if I'd done it once, I could do it again. Okay, so if that is something that's important to you, then you need to find some people that you want to sprint with, that you want to push yourself with, and then not go out and find people. Okay. Other people, I want to go to Jenny here real quick. Jenny, if it's okay if you're there, but like she was somebody who I looked up to and respected. And when I talked about like I went and found people that I feel would be really great people on the team or in this mission and try to sell them. But Jenny's ideas of what she wanted out of it was very clear. And like we had to have some pretty gangster conversations over multiple days about what that would look like for her to feel like she would want to join the team. So Jenny, I don't know, maybe rather than have me tell the story, I want you to tell that story, things that were going through your head, maybe some fears you were dealing with, or some, what made you want to, because you told me at some point, I'm leaning towards no, right? And and then all of a sudden other days you were leaning towards yes. It was this very roller coaster between when you finally said, hey, I would love to join your team. But I'm going to turn it over to Jenny and have her tell that story about what she wanted to get out of it and what those kind of was going through her mind as that process was.
Yeah. I would say like Team Cup, I have a pretty long history with Team Cup. I've been a coach for 4 years, so I've done quite a few. And I was in a really weird place with my business when Andy approached me about joining his cup team. And I was kind of at a personal ultimatum with it. And just that I knew that my focus had to change from what I had done for the past 4 years. Going forward, it needed to change. And so that was, not long after I had really reached out in the New Wave community for some people to work with, and I had started getting really involved. And Andy started asking me about doing cup, and I was really flattered. And of course, immediately I get kind of like excited because I've been on some pretty big highs with Team Cup, and it's hard to resist, trying to go big. But I also knew that, like with my business, I really, really had to shift gears from just trying to recruit in mass numbers and get as many points as you could to building a strong downline. And so I was trying to transition into that. And yeah, we had so many conversations. Andy would call me and I think in my head, I was saying no repeatedly, but Andy was getting like yes or maybe from it. And then there was times where, I thought, okay, well, maybe I could do it. I just need more time to think. And I kept asking Andy for more time. And, and he was like, okay, I can give you some time. And he would go work on the other people he was asking to go into cup. And then he would come back to me a few days later and be like, okay, let's have another gangster conversation and, see if you can do this with us. And I was really just scared. I wanted to go in a new direction with my business, and I was scared that Team Cup wouldn't take me in that direction. And so I just had to be really, really clear with Andy that this is my goal. I want to do this going forward. And it may not align with getting 18 people next month, And so, because for me, just to hit Success Club that month after a slump in my business and just to start recruiting with the business opportunity was a big move in the right direction for me. So maybe I would have only gotten a few people signed up, and to me, that would have been a success. But Andy was going for top 10. And that was pretty clear. And I was like, I don't know if I can do that, But in the end, what made me finally decide to say yes and to go for it, even though I was unsure of how well I could perform, was one of the biggest changes I wanted to make in my business was to have a team to work with and to have coaches and not be alone. And that was one of the biggest drivers for me to get so involved with New Wave, was to have that awesome, supportive, positive team. And I was like, I can't say I want this team on one hand and then say no to working with them on the other. So ultimately I said, yes, go ahead and sign me up. And then I hope things don't go bad.
Well, I think that's awesome and a great way. And it's something that I took very serious too, as we were having those conversations, Jenny, is like, how do I help you win, right? And how do I needed to wrap my mind around what this experience was going to be important for you and what your expectations of what you realistically could deliver and what would want to deliver and what it would look like. And then as a leader, does that align with the rest of the team and does it mesh? Because if it didn't mesh, it didn't matter. And then also, just being able to work closely with you, it was something that like, hey, but like regardless of goals or whatever, like let's, like we're both seemed like what we're doing with New Wave. We've had some awesome power talks together. Let's do this a little bit more closely behind the scenes, because amazing things happen, y'all, like in those chats. And Team Cup is cool because of the people we help, or you push yourself, but there's some special moments behind the scenes, right? Like just the 5 of you experience. And if I knew what was really important to Jenny and I could deliver on that or help the team fulfill part of that for her, then that's going to grow us closer, right? So as your leaders of a team, you need to really understand what everybody needs out of it, out of this experience. And then you guys got to have those conversations with everybody going in. Like you need to have them before, so there's not hurt feelings, right? There's not false expectations. There's not pressure that's unwanted. It's supportive.
Can I say something there, Andy?
Sure.
like you said, you had spoke with everyone individually before it was, decided who was going to be on the team. And even if you don't think you're going to like shoot huge, like a lot of people are just looking for those four other people. And once they get four people to say yes, they just like, okay, we got a team. But you probably should talk one-on-one, schedule a phone call with each person privately. Like if you're the leader, if you're trying to form the team,
Yeah.
And talk to them about what they need. And rather than just, just find four people to say yes, there's more to it than that.
There is. Yeah, and that's what like we wanted to give across to you guys is by doing the groundwork beforehand, it just leads to greater success while you're in the trenches there and going after, because we've seen a lot of teams fall apart too, right? Like out of New Wave, and there's just and that was something we talked about last Tuesday as we were putting this call together. It was just Team Cup's a frustrating experience for some teams, and it just, hey, I sign up for a team, and now my leader's not training me the way that I thought, and you're like, and the leader's like, crap, I'm just barely a diamond. I don't even really wanted to be a leader, but I was the leader, right? And so there's all of these tough things, and all of that can be solved with conversation. And I'll give you some insight too for as great as the top 10 runs, like it taxes other relationships, right? You guys spend really, really close knit working with four other people. Maybe they're in your downline, maybe they're not in your downline. A lot of you guys have really close relationships. Like if you're a diamond coach with other diamond coaches, and now because of the rules of this, you can no longer be on their team, right? And so whereas you were working really close with them, all of a sudden in a Team Cup month, you're working with your team, right? A little bit different. And then there's conversations on that of maybe some hurt feelings or and I know for me personally, like, that was an issue because I didn't have those conversations not only with my team, but the people around me that my actions were happening, right? If you go for in Team Cup month and you're working your business a little bit harder, you need to have a conversation with your spouse or your kids about what that workload is going to be like. Right. And so when we're talking about setting the expectation for your team, what you want to get out of it, what you need out, like, I just want you to say like, hey, set the groundwork on everybody that's going to affect. Okay. Cool. I also think too, when I say go out and get your team, how many people feel confident enough to approach somebody that say, hey, I would like to work with you? How many of you guys feel confident? Tammy does. Not a lot of hands raised. Heath does, Shauna does, Cynthia does. Okay, some of you do. Okay, Shauna, I want to go to you because you just went out and got your team. And last week we had talked, and that was a big deal for you, right? You had always been not the leader. And here you are, diamond coach, crushing it. You got to go get your team. So what was that experience like? And honestly, I think of all the teams, like you're one of the first people to have your completed team yet. So how did you do it? Since it was a scary moment for you, or maybe that's not even the right word, but just how did you do it? And what are you guys excited about?
Yes, it was a little scary. I've been on every cup team since I started, and every one of them has been part of my upline. And I couldn't be on their team anymore because I'm diamond now. So I was like, well, I need to step up. I need to lead. This is something that I need to do for my own coaches. And I figured that doing this would just step me out of my comfort zone. I get to meet and share ideas with other coaches that are on the same path as me with New Wave and with Who Knows a Guy. So I wanted to kind of line up, doing all those different things together, and then us to be able to share ideas. And so I put out that post in both groups and invited Cynthia actually through our message first. So, and then I kind of looked around through both groups and noticed that Melanie was asking for a success partner or a success group. So I talked to her individually and asked her, and then I got the other two. Well, one of them's Erica, which is on my team. We have the same coach, and the other one had posted on my my post that I did. So, but I've definitely took the bull by the horns and started right in. I probably watched 5 different. Can you still hear me?
Yeah,
I
you
was
cut out just a little bit. You watched 5 different somethings.
Team Cup tip videos, and different stuff, especially Amy Silverman. I know that you've, mentioned her, and trying to gather ideas and different stuff that I want to, and we've already started,
Yeah.
We've got a group, we've got a message thread, we've already started throwing ideas. So
that's awesome. Well, awesome. Congrats for you stepping up as a leader. And I know some of those people you're working with, you got a really great team. So we'll be rooting for you to do some big, amazing things in Team Cup. And you're ready, Shauna. You're totally ready. You've talked on these power talks. You're totally ready for that. And if you ever need mentorship too and all that stuff about, hey, as a leader, it's tough, right? There's a lot of leaders in New Wave and here to help you too. We're all one big, if everybody can help each other, that's always a good thing too. So, cool. I want to talk about, first of all, motivating your own downline, right? Because Team Cup is a way to get people on board. And sometimes as a brand new coach, they have no idea what Team Cup is. And they barely know what Success Club is. And all of a sudden here this is, and you see potential in them, right? As a leader, as a mentor of them, some of you just recruited. You want them to dig deep and bring it big and be part of the team, work with you closer. How do you motivate your own team to come together, right? Let me talk about that. My first cup, I did that. It was totally my downline. And you don't have to be, doesn't matter. I was an Emerald coach and I had finally had enough coaches to do it, right? And so I feel like if you got enough coaches who want to work it, it doesn't matter what your rank is, lead your people, right? Because if not you, then someone else. Or, trust that they're there. And then that's a different conversation, right? Because maybe the ability of the group is way more of a wild card, right? Especially if somebody in their first month of a business, you haven't seen them do what they want to do, right? And Jenny can attest to this. It could fire you up and set you up really fast, or I've had experiences where it could overwhelm and scare somebody and cause some burnout, right? So you need to have a conversation with your team of what that looks like. But one, I think it's cool to bring a team together, right? And if you guys are already in your own downlines, you're everybody's, the way we work, right? People are under people, we all make each other money. So it's easy to bond as a team, and it's easy to come together, right? As a common goal. I totally believe that for teams to come together, you got to give them a vision and a mission, right? If you guys remember New Wave way back in the day, we all came together, first power talk. We're like, oh my gosh, this community is going to be incredible. We're all going to help each other. But I knew that one power talk wasn't enough, right? If this community is going to sustain and thrive and cement the culture, I had to give everybody a mission. So we came together to create Carving Coaches Training, and it was more about the community coming together to work on a project than it was what we're creating and how it exists. But it worked, right? It brought the community together. We all, the community has been, we're still around today. We're still growing there too. So I love Team Cup because it can give your team a vision. And even Tier 1, if you guys came together, everybody hit Success Club, right? That's a business building behavior, right? You as the leader, you hit 10, right? Everybody else hits 5. Or it's so much easier now, y'all. 2 challenge packs, they hit 6, right? And then one person, you do 3, and it's 9. You guys get to 30. Okay, what a cool thing for you guys to do as a team. That's an amazing thing to do as a whole team. Okay, and so if you can create that, hey, this is a big deal that we did this together as a team. It's powerful. It's powerful. Okay.
I think a cool thing for that too, Andy, because I've improved so much since that cup that we did together for New Wave, where I had 0 active coaches pretty much, maybe a few half active coaches. But now I have 4 of them that immediately said, yes, I want to do Team Cup. And what excites me the most as a leader now is that, like, you know, I do a weekly call with them once a week, and, you know, we have our message thread and everybody's working their business, but I want more. Like, I want to work with them so much more than just a weekly team call. But I also don't want to, like, overwhelm them or pressure them too much, you know. But the Team Cup is a chance for everyone to work a lot harder and more intense and get together and, like, just do more. And so, like, I'm craving that, and I think they're craving that. And that's really exciting about working with your downline. So even if everyone's just aiming for 5 or 10, that's a really awesome thing.
That's awesome. No doubt. And it's been really cool, Jenny, to see your team explode as it has since Cup. And then, you know, I know a lot of those coaches that are excited, like, were recruited within Team Cup last time, right? And have gone through some stuff afterwards, have started a transformation, or now are a coach and are recruiting their own people too. You know, all from a Cup month.
Let's talk about if you do want to win.
Yeah, right?
All right, so, like, something exciting, because you know, you can form a team, everyone can go for 5 points or 10 points or challenge themselves to go for more. Think about how many people you can reach out to, by the way. So when you're with your Cup team and you're like, okay, you know, how many people do you think that you can reach out to? And, you know, like, if you're trying to win, with 5 coaches, say you're going for top 10, you, at the minimum, probably need 2 people to max out, you know? Maybe 3, maybe 4. If you want to go for, like, more than top 10, then everyone's going to probably need to max out. But think about it. That's just, like, 17 people, you know? I guess 18. Actually, it would be less now with 3 points. Yeah, that changes everything. The math will change a little bit. But yeah, you know, when it was 2-point challenge packs, that was just, you know, 17, 18 people each. And, you know, that's really achievable for any coach. Like, any coach can do that. I think the harder part is to find a team of 5 people that want to try to do that, you know, and that aren't gonna, like, you'll have 5 people maybe that have the capacity, or you're like, yeah, they're really awesome, they've got a strong, you know, base to go from. But it's a personality thing, you know, like, when you actually get into it, is that person willing to put in the extra time to make it happen?
No doubt. And a couple of ways that, I mean, I've never won. Jenny, you're the only one on this call that's ever won the whole thing, right? But I think that a cool thing is, if you're going for a winning, like, I think either people are just really inspired, or they know what it's taken. They had to dig in. They got to believe in that they can rise to the occasion. And a way that I've been able to get to at least where I am is creating an alliance, right? So especially like the Cup team that Katie was on, a lot of people had their own little coaches. Maybe not enough to field a whole team, but it was like, man, I kind of want to do this with my 2 or 3 coaches that I do have, and I want to inspire them. How do you do both? And I think it's cool that they give us 3 points for every rank advance. And so I know, like, Camille, that was a big deal for her that she had a coach that was there. And I know Jackie was this huge leader of a pretty big team and wanted to take care of them. And I was like, well, okay, I had coaches that, you know, I was taking care of, mentoring to. If we all come together as, like, this top mastermind, I'm learning from all these people too, but I still need my team to rise up and rank advance, right? And all of a sudden they can celebrate the win too. They can celebrate because, you know, I know when Camille and Jackie went diamond, there's no way we would have even been close to the top 10 without that too. And they had 2 people, you know, rank advance that was some of their points were from that. So it was a bigger win than just 5 people. It was 5 teams that have united to come together. I want to talk about, like, when you're building the team to win, a lot of people just want, hey, who can get the most Success Club points? But I think it's good to to find the right team that complements each other. And Katie, I want to go to you now that you're not in the car. But I appreciate you jumping on the call. One, I just maybe you can give some insight, like Jenny, because I had a very similar conversation, like I did with her, like I did with you. I was like, "Hey, Katie, you want to have a Zoom real quick? I want to talk with you about something." And then what that worked with, like how that translated into you saying yes. And then also, what kind of coach were you before Team Cup? And then what did you believe you could do as I invited you, I guess? That's what I want.
Okay. Well, thanks for letting me come on your little chat. But no, just like Jenny, I was doing coaching, but I was kind of doing it at my own pace. Kind of taking things, one day at a time, 1 month at a time, not really working the business, but doing the motions every day, but not really following through. And when I hopped onto that first, what is it called? Master something, y'all had the wave, carve my wave or something. I can't quite remember that, but I'm sure everyone remembers that's what they kind of did at the very beginning. And I was like, okay, it was like a light bulb moment. And I was like going through a lot of stressful things. And I was like, I have to make this move. I have to make this work. And he had called me after I'd kind of put my information in, because I was like, hell yeah, because you had to be open to sharing what was working for you, sharing what things you had talents for to help others to where they could work their business as well. And that was the number one thing that kind of triggered him to call me, because he's like, girl, you know a lot about this, so figure this out and show us how to do it. So I'm like, okay. And then I was like, I'm an emerald. You could even call me that. I haven't hit Success Club in months. Why do you want me? And that was kind of a why. And he was like, because you have talent. You have what it takes. You have drive. You have the ambition, but it's just a matter of getting you out of that shell so you can seal the deal without really selling yourself short. And that's kind of what he did through that whole month. We worked on, strategic strategies of how we were going to work together, how we were going to make our group function on a great level to where we each had our own, I guess you would say, niche in it, I guess you would say. But every person knew what they were doing, knew how they're going to implement it. And it all started from him going, what is your weakness? And that is what he brought out of us. He brought our weaknesses out of us, and we made them stronger.
Well, Katie's so good. And so how do you get, I think a good lesson is that, like, how do you, if you want to win, how do you start attracting other people who are in that mindset and want to win? And I don't know, maybe Katie, if you thought that you wanted to win, but what you did do is you gave like this amazing PicMonkey tutorial, like, just of like, hey, this is how I'm like a freaking graphic artist over here, and here's how I do this. This is how I create a banner. And it was so helpful, and it helped so many people. It was by far, like, in the first 2 or 3 weeks of New Wave, like the most engaged post, and it was like a half-hour long video you did, and everybody watched the whole half hour. It was awesome. And I just got done reading Compound Effect. I know I'm late to the party on that one. Everybody reads that like in the first couple of days. But one thing that I really connected with is like when he talks about how he wanted to attract like the perfect spouse for him, right? And it was like he listed out all of the things that his spouse was going to have. And then he flipped it. He's like, what kind of things would that person want, or what would they need to connect with, right? And so he became the person that would attract something like that. So what Katie did was great, because I would never have known Katie except out of all the people in New Wave, here she is. She gave value. She positioned herself as somebody who was a team player, really wanted to help and give, and that was exactly who I was looking for, a team. So if you're in it to win it, how do you get discovered? One, you just got to start being super helpful and putting yourself out there and giving value to other coaches who might want to see that, connect with it, realize that you're a hustler, and then reach out to you. Yeah, and then So, and Katie, the best part about Katie too, y'all, is the way that she treats her challengers too. And that's one thing I want you guys to, that like Team Cup is way more than a sales push. It's a commitment to 4 other coaches to do some big things. And you learn way more from them than just how to sell challenge packs. Katie was in our challenge groups, a rock star. The way that she serves her customers, and the way that she served my customers when we teamed up, when we collaborated, was really special. And it's a really unique thing that, hey, here's some people that I recruited that I've had a relationship. I've talked to them. They said yes during Cup Month. And because of that, they not only get to work with me, but they get to get mentored by Katie too. And their life was better for it, right? So that was really cool. So Katie, I just wanted to thank you again for being, doing what we've done and continue to stay friends. And Katie's got a lot of really new momentum all of a sudden too. So definitely keep track of her because she's going some places there too. I think the last thing I want to do is find the right personalities that fit with each other, right? Katie talked about it a little bit with finding specialists. But we had 3 people. Katie, you and Jackie and Christy were very high and very low during Team Cup. Like there were some really highs and some real lows. And if I didn't have Camille, Camille's not on this call, just to kind of keep this positive rock to the group, like we would have had a spectacular fiery crash. I feel like we ended really well, but it could have ended really bad, right, Katie? And it did because we had people that were grounded, right, and then we're like the glue there. Yeah.
That movie, that little movie with the blue-haired woman, and she's inside the mind of the girl. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, what is that?
I forgot what the name of that. I don't know.
Pixar movie.
That's what it is. I mean, it's like every personality came out in that group.
Inside Out.
Inside Out. Yeah, that's it.
Yes. I mean, that was it. That was us. I mean, we had so much drama, and here he is, this one guy out of all just like, who's on PMS this week?
No, I did not say that. That was not me.
But no, for real. I mean, it was bad, but it was good though. It was a good thing. Yeah.
And passion's good. Passion serves you. Passion helps you reach for big things. And we all wanted it. And when Plan A wasn't working, we took it personally, right? Like it was tough, and the highs and lows of that push were pretty big. And so, you guys are going to have highs and lows, right? And know during the thing, like at the beginning, it's going to be good. You're like, oh, we're going to change the world. And then some points you thought you had are going to come through, and you're going to be like, oh, freaking what's going on with Bobby over there? Like, come on, and there's like some friction. And then if you can move past that and kind of get to, all right, let's come up with a plan B. We're in it together. How do we make it work? And if you can get past kind of this friction and get to problem solving as a team, then that's good. And then you start performing as a high performing team. Okay. So look for players that get along and also complement each other, and have those skill sets that you guys are an amazing group. I'm not the graphic designer Katie is. There's so many different things. Like when I teamed up with Jenny, like she would take the notes and everything was so organized. It seemed to flow, and we would execute because of everybody's role. So love your role, and then bring what's special about you to the group. So I want to open it up to questions too. And then also, who doesn't have a team that wants one? Cool. Tammy and Jamie, let's go. I saw Tammy's Heath there too. Cool. Tammy, what do you, if you don't mind like talking, like what do you want out of Team Cup? Like, what does your ideal team look like?
I'm kind of like what Katie was saying. I have been like a lifetime Emerald, it seems like, for the last year, and I can't even tell you the last time that I sold a challenge pack. So I'm kind of at the same point that she is now. I do have a good team. We've kind of been kind of rough. My best friend happens to be the coach above me. And so we've been struggling. So I'm excited to share this with them. And I think that by the time we get done, we'll be able to have two different teams in our total team. So that's what I hope to bring back to our team. But yeah, and get myself jump started, because I'm in your branding group right now.
Yeah.
And it's doing amazing things for me.
Cool.
So I'm hoping to take it a little bit further.
Yeah.
Well, getting a brand, because I didn't really even know what a brand was until I come in contact with you about 5 days ago. So.
Nice. Well, I'll let you know, like I said in the chat, like the OG, the February Cup with Katie and stuff, all of them went through the branding course, and that was the reason a lot of us had success. Marianne, I'm impressed with you raising your hand, and because that's like from school, right? Like I'm going to go to you next. What do you want from out of Team Cup? What does your ideal team look or feel like?
Just had to figure out how to turn off my mute. I have spent the year, and I've had 2 challengers, and they've both quit since now. So I haven't been doing very well, but my problem is asking people to do it. So I'm looking for somebody who is struggling like me. Because I feel like if I get into a Team Cup, that I'll be letting people down, because I have it. So I want somebody who's struggling like me, so that we can rise together. That's great.
That's awesome. So I'm hearing, Tammy's like, hey, like my story is about breaking out of a slump, right? And new energy to get out of a slump. Marianne's like, hey, like I just want a success partner to figure this problem out together, right? And so, hey, like this is something I'm actively working on. I don't have it figured out. And I want to come in with a partnership of being like, hey, let's use this month to fix this problem. And let's work. So it's like you can create kind of a mastermind essentially around whatever your blind spot is or your missing is. So I love that. Anybody else? Like what is want to share? Heath, I saw you raise your hand. What is your ideal Team Cup help you accomplish?
From the last 3 months, I've been Emerald for the first time. So my Team Cup, I want to accomplish Diamond and beyond, and help build my coaches to get that. They're really reaching for it, and I think they just all need that extra push to get there. So I think this is really going to help them push, because the last Team Cup I was in really helped me, and it helped me get Success Club for the first time. So
nice, Heath. Well, that's good. And I can tell you that the most valuable Team Cup member is the Verge of Diamond Emerald, because when you go, that's 6 points for you. And then if you have 2 people that help you get there, right? They go from coach to Emerald to bring you to a diamond. That's 3 points for each of them. So that's 12 points. You're a third of the way to the cap just within rank advances, right? So I think that's great. And so if you're looking for a hustler, somebody who's ready to have that breakthrough, like check out Heath. I know Jenny is right on the verge of diamond too. And last Team Cup the February, Jackie and Camille both went diamond, and they had to do it, otherwise we wouldn't have been anywhere close. And being held to the fire like that is a way to rally your other coaches there, because one, it's going to help them and their team, right? Like it's going to help the whole team, but there's a deadline on it. And a lot of us, we just keep kicking the can down the road. I'll go star diamond next month, next year, maybe 2-star, 5-star. Beginning of the year, we're going to go 5-star, right? But it's like Team Cup, it's like, oh, every Wednesday happens. And you're like, okay, well, this will go on the next leaderboard. And then, hey, there it is. Or you get to that last week, and it's like, hey, it's either happens or it doesn't. And it's cool to watch a coach rise to the occasion and clutch something, right? And I know you're going to be so proud of your coaches when they do it. I know, people watching you are going to be proud of you when you do it. But it's a cool moment that you guys came together to accomplish something like that. So props to you. Jamie, I saw you raised your hand too. What does your ideal Team Cup look like? What are you looking to get out of it?
I'm more along the lines that Marianne was too. I'm hit rock bottom. I was Emerald at one point, and now I've lost everybody.
Yeah.
So I guess kind of like Marianne said, somebody to go together and build from there.
Cool. Well, so
somebody
hook it up. Yeah. But it's cool, right? It doesn't, and that's what the cool thing about Team Cup. It doesn't matter what level you're at. It's like, hey, I want to come together to figure out, this. And if I'm in it with you, then you can create a mastermind around those things. And there's power in joining forces, and like, hey, I'm gonna figure this out, and I'm gonna hold myself to it because Marianne wants to figure it out, Jamie wants to figure it out. I see them freaking working at it every single day, so I'm gonna figure it out, and it would be especially if you guys come together and say, hey, I want to create some learning around this. Is there anybody looking for a couple of coaches want to hustle that wouldn't mind mentoring on this subject, because that's what I'm working to get out of it, right? Cool. I saw, Jenny, you posted what are the prizes? So it's a Bluetooth speaker for Tier 1, which is pretty cool. That's, Tier 2 is a cooler. Yep. And then Tier 3 is some kind of clothing.
Yeah, it's a hoodie, a sleeveless
hoodie. Shakeology hoodie, that's right.
Yeah. The cooler would be great for packing your meals.
Mm-hmm. # travel life, right? Or wherever you are, Ginny. Right?
Yep.
Cool. So the biggest takeaway I want, is there anybody else that I didn't get to who wants to talk about, throw it out into the world, what they want to get out of Team Cup? Yeah, Cynthia, for sure.
Hey, Andy. Hey, everybody.
Yeah.
This is my first Team Cup in a while.
Yeah.
And one thing I just wanted to kind of touch on, being a New Wave this year, it really has me approaching Team Cup differently this time, because Ashana is an amazing leader, and she has us already working in a group forum.
Yeah.
And I just kind of had a light bulb went off in my head, and I thought, you know what? Everybody talks about how everybody gets momentum during Team Cup, and then they just slide down afterwards. And I thought, how about we all approach Team Cup with the mindset that these people that we're helping and we're bringing in are eventually going to be New Wavers.
Yeah.
Because if you start them off with really good support system and you all work together in your Team Cup team, and then whether you all run a challenge group together or not, you give the people that support right up front. Like you were looking for that coach, you said, when you went to go stalk your coach, your free Beachbody coach, and there was no support there. I mean, that's what you wanted. All you wanted was support. And if we start off the Team Cup with that, then I think if we have that mindset, it'll be easier for us to carry on the people we bring in and keep adding more to that kind of like family environment.
Very cool. Yeah, love it. Love it. Lisa, I saw your hand was raised too. No? She muted. Lisa's muted.
I'm unmuted.
There you go.
I was waving.
Oh, you were just waving. How nice. Yeah.
Hey, Cynthia.
So the big thing is just put your intentions out there. And if you guys are bold enough to say, I want to use Team Cup to work on these things, here's what I bring to the table. Here's the team that I'm looking for. And I guarantee you, especially if you're below a diamond, right, then somebody's going to scoop you up. I can guarantee you that. If you are diamond, you need to look around in a community like New Wave in your team page. Who do you want to work with? And who do you want? Because a lot of people just get shoved into a team of 5. Hey, I'm going to team you up by a star diamond, somebody up there. Hey, here's the teams for Team Cup. And it's kind of, they do it and you don't do it. Okay. And if you are diamond, when you take your own initiative to go get the people that you want to work with, because believe me, y'all, you start working with the people you want to work with, this business is awesome. you know, and that you guys are going to do more as a team. You guys are help more people, all that kind of stuff. So be clear with who you want to work with, what complements you, maybe what's missing in your own game that someone you respect could complement. That's why I fought so hard to get Ginny, because she filled gaps in my game that nobody else on the team currently did. And there was no other coach that I wanted on my team more than Ginny did. Ginny was, you know, so I fought for it. And, you know, but then at the same time, like kind of back to the beginning of the call, like I had to be very conscious of what did Ginny need. So I'm asking Ginny, hey, be on my team, because I appreciate these things about you. What do you need to make that happen? And then I needed to know that I could deliver that in order for me to be able to officially offer the invitation or just have her say yes, right? And she had to be heard that I understood those things too. So, you know, go out and get it. If you know, Success Club 5 is good. If you just want to help 5 people, everybody helps 5 people. 5 people helping 5 people, you guys get 75 points. That's tier 3. You get all the prizes, and it usually, guys, tier 3 gets you right up into the top 100. It's a pretty cool thing to say, and nobody will ever be able to take that away from you. That, hey, I came together with these 5 people. We're the top 100 teams in the country, or of the company. That's big. That is a big thing to put on your resume, and that is a huge confidence booster. I don't care where you are, how long you've been in the business, be able to say that, hey, together with these awesome people, I finished in the top 100. I honestly believe that's attainable for everybody. If you guys all just, you know, help 5 people helping 5 people, 75 points. You guys can, you know, even Tammy, you haven't hit Success Club in a while, want to break out. Marianne, same with you. Like, it's 5 people, right? Like, you guys can help 5 people. That's it. So, cool. Anything else, y'all? Anything else I didn't say about finding the right team? Any other words of wisdom? Cool. Well, hang out. I'll post this in New Wave. Definitely post the recording. And then, you know, I'll be on there. If you guys watching, you have a question or you're looking for a team, post it in New Wave. You know, say here's what I want to get out of Team Cup. Is there anybody else who wants to take on that mission with me? And I would phrase it like that. And if you're a leader, here's the mission I want to go on. Would anybody want to join me? And then talk to them. What does that look like? You know, have that conversation with everybody. So appreciate you guys. Thank you guys so much. Go have amazing Team Cups. Come back the last Tuesday of the month, because all of my best tips on actually how to deploy, how to have the best month of your career. I've run 3 Team Cups, and including myself, every time I've been there, 14 out of 15 have hit personal records during Team Cup. So, and the only person who did it was Ginny, but that was because she's won the whole thing and she's done some crazy stuff before that. So Ginny's like an OG. So but everybody else has hit a personal record. I'm going to tell you, along with some other leaders of this group, of how you guys can motivate yourself and others to hit personal records in February. So I appreciate you guys, and I'll talk to you soon.